Halloween
forever.
Welcome, boys and girls, to another Minisode of Halloween is Forever. I am Brian.
I'm Kate.
Who the fuck is Kate? Where's Meg? What have you done with Meg and Steve?
Don't worry about it.
We've got a very special series of minisodes here throughout the holiday season. The next few episodes, we are going to, people are traveling, people are decking halls, and people are nogging and doing all manner of things they do during the holidays. So Meg and Steve and myself, we decided we're going to do kind of solo episodes with other guests, which we thought would be fun. Now, as Meg just texted me, I have so many Swedish goodies for our next, and she literally just texted me as we were saying that. But we are going to have different guests on, and we're going to kind of record and host these individual episodes kind of solo, which should be a fun change of pace. Also, my kids want to come on and talk about The Nightmare Before Christmas, but we are going to do that here in a quick second. But otherwise, my co-host this week is my tremendously lovely wife, Kate, who you've all heard about on a number of occasions.
I'm very excited to be here.
I know, you can tell by your face you're very excited to be here. For those of you who are new to the show, we do these little kind of fun mini-sodes in between our big showdown episodes for the month. And Kate comes up quite often because she has to tolerate some of these absolute horseshit movies that we task ourselves with watching for the show. And she's a good sport about it. I mean, I like to think, correct me if I'm wrong, you have in recent years become a little bit of a horror fan.
No.
No, okay.
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, that's all right. Just thought maybe I was just wishful thinking there. I don't know. You tolerate horror movies.
Yes. My tolerance has built.
Yes, your tolerance has built. Maybe that's a more fair way of saying it. But in any case, this time around, so this is what we're actually going to do over the next few episodes. There is a film, which this was a ballsy pick because none of us had seen it. But we decided there is a film that came out in 2019. It is entitled Deathcember, and some of you may have seen it, and some of you may not have. I had not seen it. I will read you the synopsis of Deathcember real quick here, because I think it does a fairly good job of explaining. Wait, no, that's not it. That movie's from 1999. Let's see here. Deathcember. I had it up. I Googled something else. And
you should have come better prepared.
Yeah, I know. Listen, this is literally the story of this fucking show. All right, Deathcember, 2019 horror movie, a collection of 24 films that take a look at the dark side of the festive season. 24 international directors with the most diverse ideas and styles, linked by a short animated segment that deal with the Advent calendar itself. Kind of. The last part really actually doesn't make sense.
No. I think they just watched the first one.
Yeah, there was an Advent calendar in the first one. Yeah, so there are 24 short films. There is a very weak little wraparound where it looks like it's a PlayStation 2 game where they just like have little items, which we'll talk about here in a second. But there are 24 of these short films. What? 3 minutes a piece-ish, give or take. Anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes, I would say. But we were tasked with watching the first 8 and talking about them, which is what we're going to do here today. Just real quick, before we get into it, overall thoughts on the film, the 8 films we had to watch. One word to describe.
Awful?
Yeah, that's not great. Yeah, they're not great. Some of them were kind of fun. We'll get into it. Listen, we'll get into it here in a second.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah. We have copious notes, and you've written yours out, handwritten them, and you have several pages. I have, of course, as normal, my shitty notes in my phone. But we'll get into that in a second because we got a couple of things to announce right off the top before I forget. And that first thing is, we've decided what our January showdown episode is going to be. So if you recall, last week, or what was the week before? Oh, no, it was last week, because we put out the call to action in terms of voting to pick our showdown episode for January. The choices that were provided by our faithful wheel gave us the options of musical horror movies, best Hitchcock films, and what we thought was going to be the dark horse, which was Back to School, which is just any horror flick that's kind of generally revolves around an academic setting, I suppose. And we were surprised to find out Back to School won fairly handily on Twitter and Instagram. So we're going to be doing Back to School. We will announce in the coming weeks what our picks are going to be for that episode. So if you want to watch along with us before the episode comes out, you certainly can. Also, if you want to vote on these types of things in the future, if you want to suggest topics, if you want to just interact with us and, see some spooky, ass content on a weekly or daily basis generally, check us out on the Instagram at Halloween is Forever. On Twitter, it's at HallowForever and at HallowForever Pod, I think. I never get it right. And usually Meg and Steve are here to just correct me, but I'm flying solo in terms of the normal hosts here. So if I'm wrong, just go on the fucking app and search Halloween is Forever. It's not rocket science. Halloween is Forever podcast on Facebook. I think the TikTok is at Halloween is Forever Pod, and then Halloween is Forever Pod at gmail.com if you want to send us an email. So with that out of the way, let's talk about, first of all, listen, we got some alcoholic beverages here per usual. What are you drinking? We normally talk about the beers. You've listened to the show. You're familiar with the show?
Yes, a little bit.
A little bit. You've listened to
a few.
1.5 episodes.
Yeah.
What did you bring to the table this evening?
Well, I'm a basic bitch, and I will be drinking Truly because I don't really like beer very much.
Yeah, I mean you're awful for other reasons, but this is the.
I have a few that I like.
Yeah,
but we didn't have any of those, so I'm drinking Truly.
Yeah, you fuck with the Truly.
Wild berry.
You fuck with the Truly mix pack quite a bit.
I like the Truly mix pack. Yes, I do not like White Claw, but I do like Truly.
Yeah, you're very particular about your alcoholic seltzers.
I'm going to crack it open actually.
Yeah, I have from beautiful Cinderland's Beer Company here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a beer called Lotta Sap. And it is a West Coast style holiday double IPA. It's looking pretty clear. It's very aromatic. It's brewed with sweet orange peel, spruce tips, and then Cascade, Citro Cryo hops, El Dorado, and Idaho 7. So dry hopped, West Coast double IPA with orange peel and spruce tips. Kate just took a little sip of it. Your face tells a tale.
I'm not going to comment.
I don't know why you would even think that you would like that beer.
I don't like hops at all.
Yeah, so you grab the double IPA and take a big swig.
I always try to sip, and I'm sure it's a very good beer for what it is. I don't enjoy it. But.
Yeah, I like spruce beers. I like beers with piney hop character on their own, and then you add a little bit of spruce tips, which it's pronounced, but it's not overpowering and weird and waxy and yucky. It's actually really nice.
I usually really hate anything pine. It always tastes like soap.
Yeah,
but that is not overwhelming in that aspect.
Oh, it's surprising to hear you say that because it is pretty. But
also, all hops taste like pine to me.
Yeah. And soap.
In all fairness.
You're very sensitive. Soap. You have whatever that gene is that makes cilantro taste like soap as well. You're just horribly flawed. I
just only like bland things. That's all.
We joke about the your family's famous recipe for mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
It's just potatoes.
Potatoes boiled in water. And then drain the water.
And then mash them.
And then smush them up. That's it.
There's no salt. There's no butter.
There's no fat at all. No cream, no butter, no nothing.
Yeah.
Just potatoes.
Yeah.
Mashed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a fairly simple recipe. Before we get into these 8, I'm going to go out on a limb and say just gems of short movies.
Sure.
I wish that we had a webcam because Kate's eyes are rolling the whole way around to the back of her brain.
I don't have a good poker face.
No, you don't. We picked just something that's right up your alley. Before we get into that, though, let's we have a little a little segment I thought was fun and cute and funny with our two daughters talking about The Nightmare Before Christmas, because they are 5 and 7 years old and they do not watch horror movies. But yeah, that's not true. We took them to see Frankenstein at Halloween
original.
time.
Yeah, that one's low key.
Yeah, but
They were confused about a dead girl, though, and I was not aware that was part of the movie. So for all of you people out there about to send CYS after us, I did not know about it.
Well, listen, you tell them right off the bat, this isn't a movie. They're actors. It's not real. Mm-hmm. And we had a lot of conversations about Boris Karloff and about the makeup and how they make him look bigger than he is and all that stuff. And they love the kind of movie magic aspect of it. So they're smart kids and they don't think it's like real or anything like that.
They did think there was way too much talking.
Yes.
There wasn't enough action.
Yeah. Our 5-year-old just sat there and ate popcorn, very bored. And I was like, what do you think so far? She was like, a lot of talking. They are... 30s movies are not fast-paced enough for children nowadays. We have come to learn. In any case, let's go over to the little segment that I did with them, and they wanted to talk about their favorite Christmas horror movie. I'll say that in quotes. The Great Nightmare Before Christmas. All right, welcome, boys and ghouls. We've got a special little couple of little guests for you today. I think I mentioned this on the last mini, so I don't remember if I did or not, but I promised these couple of little buttheads a long time ago when we first started the podcast back in the summer. My two girls, my two daughters said, I want to, Daddy, when can we be on the podcast? And I said, well, what are you going to talk about? We talk about horror movies. It's not stuff, that kids watch. And they said, well, let's talk about Nightmare Before Christmas, which is one of their favorite movies. So we decided, let's wait for the Christmas episode. And then you guys were one of the December episodes to talk about this. So, I guess without further ado, why don't you two introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Maeve. I'm 7. Oh.
Okay.
I'm Maggie.
How old are you, Maggie?
10.
How old are you?
5.
Maggie's 5. So Maeve's 7, Maggie's 5. So their experience with horror movies, not a lot of experience yet. Although we did around Halloween time, we did go see your first scary movie in the theater. What did we see?
Frankenstein.
Did you like Frankenstein?
I loved it.
What did you think, Mag?
A little creepy, a little boring. Yeah, Maggie. Yeah, Maggie sort of thought it was a little boring, and just because it was almost 100 years old, she said there was a lot of talking.
Yeah.
That's you that said there was.
No, because you said to me, I said, what do you think about it? And you said, it's okay, a lot of talking. You were more interested in the popcorn and the candy.
I was too.
Yeah, you both were. But it was super fun, though, wasn't it? Spooky Halloween thing to do. Now, but we're not talking about Halloween, you buttholes. We are talking about a little film called The Nightmare Before Christmas. How many times do you think that you guys have watched The Nightmare Before Christmas?
100 times.
You think 100 times?
A billion.
I don't know about a billion, but you guys watch it a lot. You guys have watched it probably 6 or 8 times just this year, I would bet.
Probably.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right. So here, do you guys have any guesses what year The Nightmare Before Christmas came out?
I have no idea. I bet when my dad was 15?
That's not a bad guess. Not a bad guess. It was a little bit earlier than that. It came out in 1993.
Were you alive?
Yeah, I was alive. What year do you think I was born? You don't know what year I was born?
No. I know what year I was born.
How old am I now?
36.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to make you do the math right now, but no. I was 8 years old when it came out. And Uncle Danny was 6 years old when Grandma took me and Uncle Danny to go see it in the theaters.
Oh, cool.
Thanks for the sarcastic response. You friggin' jerk. All right. So, do you guys remember me telling you who is the singing voice of Jack Skellington?
I do not remember that.
Do you remember, Maggie?
I think, but I don't know.
Do you have any guesses?
So, I remember you telling us, but I forget. I don't know anybody's name.
Well, remember who sings Weird Science and Dead Man's Party?
I have no idea.
Remember the name of the band you thought was really funny?
Oh, I know. Oingo Boingo.
Yes, it's Danny Elfman, who you guys know from the lead singer. My kids are really into Oingo Boingo for some reason.
Our mom loves the band too.
Yeah, we're fans. All right, so what is your favorite thing? Don't rub your butt on the table. What is your favorite part? Maeve, you can go first. What's your favorite thing about The Nightmare Before Christmas?
My favorite thing is when Jack, when he finds out about the Christmas town.
Like when he first discovers, he goes through the tree and sees everything in Christmas Town?
Yes.
Is there any part in that scene that you really, really like or you think is fun?
When he falls into the pile of snow?
Yeah, when he goes in the snow and that's pretty funny because he's like skinny and he falls in, he like sinks really far and then sits up.
Yeah.
All right, Mag, what's your favorite part?
The end part.
The part at the end when, like at the very end, when Santa gets rid of all the mean toys and gives them good toys?
The part when Jack and Sally go up on the hill and do the thing that they did.
Oh, you mean when it snows in Halloween Town? You like the romantic parts. Right? He always likes the romantic parts. What do you think about that? No comment. All right. So who are your favorite characters in the movie?
Probably Sally.
Yeah. Why do you like Sally? Whoops! I just dropped our candy. You go get that. Here, Maggie, you go. Who's your favorite character?
Jack.
Why do you like Jack so much?
I just like skeletons.
You just like skeletons? Yeah. What did we dress up as for Halloween this year? Me and Maeve.
Skeleton?
Yeah, wasn't that tricky of a question. Sorry, you like Sally. I know you want to eat this candy. We're going to eat it in a second. What is your why do you like Sally? Stop dabbing for 1 second, Mag.
I like Sally because how long her hair is and how she can sew herself back together, not die.
Yeah, and it's you guys have a little Sally costume too that you like to dress up in, don't you?
Yeah, I don't really like to dress up in it. I like the look of it, but it's very itchy and I don't really wear it that much. I'm not that into Nightmare Before Christmas as much as Halloween Town.
Yeah, you like Halloween Town, and you like we watched Nightmare Before Christmas after this. I bet some of the people on here know about Halloween Town. Do you like Halloween Town?
Kind of.
It's not your favorite though.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. My favorite one is the fourth one where she gets the necklace.
Yeah, is that like Halloween High or whatever? Return to Halloween High or something? Am I thinking?
Yeah, that's what I think. That might be about that movie.
Yeah, you're right. We're not talking about it. Shut up and stop talking about Halloween Town. All right. What's your least favorite thing? If there's something you don't like about Nightmare Before Christmas, what is it?
The worst part I hate the most is when the little dummies, I don't know their names, sing.
You're talking about the trick-or-treaters?
Yeah, yeah, when they sing the song.
You don't like that song?
Yeah, the dummies do that.
That's not your favorite song. Mag, what's your least favorite part?
I think it is what Maeve said.
That song, yeah, you guys aren't a big fan of that song, are you? That was a beautiful song.
I do not like the trick-or-treaters at all.
Yeah, what don't you like about them? Do you think they're scary?
They are very creepy.
Wait, what other scary movies do you like? Is there any other scary movies that you like?
I love Halloween Town.
Yeah, and Hocus Pocus.
I love Hocus Pocus too. My favorite part of Hocus Pocus is when they meet the guy that got turned into a cat.
Yeah, I didn't ask you what your favorite part of Hocus Pocus was.
I don't care!
Don't scream into the microphone, you psycho. What's one of your favorite scary movies? Or maybe just Halloween stuff or spooky stuff. What do you like, Mag, besides this?
I don't really have any more favorite movies. I just have Nightmare Before Christmas. That's my only favorite thing.
Well, okay, so sit down, Mag, or sit down, maybe. My gosh. Okay. Now, what is your favorite Christmas? It doesn't have to be spooky. What's your favorite Christmas show or movie?
Let me think. Probably. This is a hilarious one. So, guys, there's a Christmas special from England.
Yeah.
It's called The Snowmen.
You just I just discovered this and watched it for the first time this year, and so did you.
They there's like a little boy who builds a snowman, and then they just go to a party in the woods, and then snowmen just come, and then they all chug beer.
No, they drink champagne. Okay, so what is the other funny part that you guys were cracking up at the snowman? So this is a British special for those of you guys who haven't heard of this. I think it's streaming free on Tubi. It's apparently very, very popular in England, and I just discovered it this year, and we've watched it a few times. What was the other really funny part you guys are cracking up about? Hold on, let Maggie answer this one.
The one he doesn't even have any underwear on. He just pulls his pants on and you see his butt.
There's a little part where he gets out of bed and when he realizes it snows and then changes into his clothes to run out in the snow, and he takes his pajamas off, and they thought it was absolutely hilarious that he didn't have any underwear on and you see his little butt cheeks.
Yeah, it's like really funny because his butt cheeks are like the littlest butt cheeks in the whole entire world.
Little tiny butt cheeks. That's what I call you guys, little tiny butt cheeks. All right. Okay. A couple more quick things before we wrap this segment up with you turds. Very important question. Are you ready for it?
Yeah!
Do you think that The Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie? Oh, they both just started. They're very pensive.
Oh, I know. I think it's more Halloween because, like, the main character is Halloweeny.
That's a good argument. It's hard to argue with that. Maggie, what do you think?
Christmas.
Why do you think it's a Christmas movie?
Because Jack dresses up and it's a Halloween and Christmas movie.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that too. But if you had to pick one, you'd say it was a Christmas movie? Yeah, because it gives you some of them Christmas feels. Yeah, all right. Don't pound on the table, you weirdos. Okay, so we have one more order of business here for this segment with these two little squids. So they are going to help me with this week's Minisode snack situation here. Neither of these little goons can deal with any amount of spicy food at all. So we're not going to do spices, but we are going to do some seasonal snacks here. We have. You guys remember when we did the Halloween dots, the ghost dots?
Yeah, I remember. So this time we are going to do Christmas dots. So they have there's red and there is green. The green is I think it might be lime, and then the red is cherry, and then the top is vanilla because it's light.
Yes, exactly right. So here, I'll dump some out here, and then we could try which. Whoa, I dumped a lot of them out. All right, so first of all, what do they smell like, Maggie?
They kind of smell really good, but I can't describe the smell.
Yeah, they smell kind of vanilla-y, actually. They almost smell like cake frosting.
Yeah, that is right.
Yeah, you think so? Okay, which one are you going to try first? Which color should we all try first?
I think we should try the green.
You agree, Mag? Okay, let's all get a green one. Give it a taste.
I love it. It tastes like the green part tastes like very fresh, and it tastes very sweet.
Those are good descriptors. What do you think, Mag?
I like the lime part.
Yeah, the vanilla, you smell it, but then when you taste it, it really just kind of tastes like lime, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Like a lime dot. It's good.
Yeah, not dots. It's gumdrops.
Well, they do look like gumdrops, but the brand is Dots. I didn't know that Dots are made by the same people who make Tootsie Rolls. Isn't that exciting?
What?
What do you think, Mag? Pretty good?
Yeah.
Do you like the lime or the cherry better, Mag?
Cherry.
Yeah. Maeve, what do you like better?
The lime, but I think that the cherry tastes exactly like cherries.
Yeah. Okay. Here I have an idea. How about we grab one of each and try them together? One green, one red. And Mommy's not home, so we're gonna eat all the candy.
No, don't. She probably wants to try them. So
actually,
shut up.
Grandma wants to try them because she loves Dots. Okay, try these two together. What do you think about them together?
Those so
Your mouth a little full.
I'm just trying to be funny, and they taste like vanilla together. I think that's why tops are supposed to be vanilla.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, now we've talked about the Nightmare Before Christmas. We've tried our Dots. I think it is time. You guys want to make some hot chocolate? With what do we have over here that we're going to enjoy tonight?
Hot chocolate bombs.
Hot chocolate bombs.
Oh, and our grandma and our grandparents, one of our grandparents, their friend gave them something from a bakery, and it was these very fancy hot chocolate bombs, and there's 4 of them for each of us.
Well, there's 4 total, one of them for each of us.
Yeah, so we get to enjoy those tonight. There's like one with like a candy heart on top. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to try the one that looks like it has like chunks of chocolate on top.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got our little candy cane stirs here, which Mac brought over. Exciting stuff, you freaking bums. All right, jamming all of the Dots in your mouth as usual. Do we have any closing thoughts? Are you guys excited about Christmas?
Yeah!
What about you, Meg?
I hope I'm on a naughty list.
Did you just fart?
I hope I'm on a naughty list so I get some coal to make a snowman.
You want yes, this is your master plan. You want coal because you want to use it to make the buttons for a snowman.
I know we have charcoal.
Yeah, we used charcoal before. Well, you know what? That's a heck of a sacrifice just to get some coal. You're going to be naughty all year long and get no presents just so you can get coal.
Yeah, I want to get coal so I can. Well, just for a present. If I'm on a nice list, then I'll just get coal for a present, and I'll get some other stuff like a keyboard. And if I'm on a naughty list, I'm fine if I get coal because there's always next year.
You are too much. All right.
Wait, I get it.
Yes, you want to say any final thoughts from you, butt cheek?
I am mostly excited for Christmas because I love when, I don't know if they're coming over this year. We went to their house this spring, right?
Who are you talking about?
Our Aunt Kate and Uncle Danny.
We were just at their house for Thanksgiving, which was just a few weeks ago.
So we might have them over for Christmas morning.
Yeah, well, they're going to come the day after Christmas, actually, which is exciting because we'll have a little second Christmas when they get here. All right. Let's wrap this up, you goons. Do you want to say? No. Do you want to say Merry Christmas?
Wait, Merry Christmas.
Or try one more time, you doofuses. Try to say. Use all your brain power and say it together. Ready?
Okay. Merry Christmas. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Bye. Yeah, thank you for listening to our podcast, buttheads.
I like that it's now your podcast. Not Daddy's podcast. Not Meg and Steve's podcast. It's your podcast now. All right, get out of here. That was fun, wasn't it? Cute, endearing, fun, just dad of the year material over here. Thank you. If you cannot stand kids, they are very cute children. So if you have children or you like children, you may have enjoyed that. If not, you fast forward right through it because you were like, why do I want to listen to these fucking people's kids talk about the movies? But they had a lot of fun with it, and they obviously were thrilled to help out with the snack review portion of the show as well.
And now they'll stop bothering you to be on the podcast.
Yeah,
hopefully.
no. All they did was open a can of worms.
You're right,
They're going to want to be
right.
on every fucking episode now. But I'm going to keep telling them they haven't earned it.
Okay.
They're not professionals. They're very unprofessional. They could not stop looking at the levels on the recording software. They thought that was very funny. They screamed in the microphone 20 times. I'm sure Steve editing this was just furious. The show, from a technical standpoint, things are going to go awry. For those of you new to the show, Steve is the only one who actually is a professional at that sort of thing. And he takes care of all of that. But in any case, Steve's not here. When the cat's away, the mice will play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into this fucking movie from 2019. I'm not really going to talk a lot about the directors, everything, because there's 24 movies, and we're not going to get into the directors. They're like 3 minutes long. But you can look them up online if you feel so inclined. But so I should explain. When you jump into it, there is, again, this like at the very beginning, there is this kind of like drone shot type of thing. I don't know if it's CGI or not. You can really tell it's a very snowy landscape. If it is, it looks fine. But it is this kind of drone shot thing that then kind of zooms in to a graveyard, a wintry graveyard scene that is, I guess, Simpsons-y Halloween kind of in that sense. But
I'm going to give my own, one of two compliments.
Yeah, for the whole movie.
Yeah.
Well, we only watched
I only watched the first 8.
Yeah. The rest of them might be masterpieces.
Yeah, but I'm never going to watch them, ever, even if they are. I liked the music.
Yeah. They seems like they did a decent job.
It was holiday-y enough.
Yeah.
And just a tiny bit creepy.
Yeah.
And I really liked the music.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of something you would hear in like a Harry Potter type situation or something like that.
It was very Harry Potter-ish, which is probably why
That's probably why you liked it, because
yeah.
you're a child. Yeah, I love that you're on like your best behavior. You're trying to be so like polite and nice.
Oh, I can let loose if you'd like. That's fine. We can go there.
All right. So there is kind of this wraparound. Like I said, they zoom into this kind of, I guess, somewhat dilapidated, spooky house with a Christmas tree
upside down.
Yeah, the tree's upside down.
You think that it's right side up.
I know.
Whoa,
wow, what a fucking twist.
Upside down, yeah.
But it's just this very cliche-ish type of like if it was Christmas in Silent Hill or something like that type of CGI imagery. Like I said, it looks like a PlayStation 2 game.
I felt like they were pretty unapologetic about it though. I almost kind of liked it.
Yeah, they were just like this. It is what it is, kind of thing.
This is what it is, and I liked finding all the little things in each movie, all the things that they start with, all the items in the room that correspond to each movie.
Right.
I liked looking for them because they were somewhere in each movie.
Yeah.
Some of them are way more obvious than others, but
right. It is kind of like so that's what they do is they kind of zoom in on and like focus in on one particular just item that's in the room, and and that's how they kind of intro that, and then it'll come up and then they'll show the title of that. They don't always start with the title, but most of them they do, and then they just kind of jump right into these short films. So
I also really liked the fact that there wasn't like a stupid story or dialogue that like introduced each short
in the
story.
wraparound. See, I love a good wraparound.
No. Every anthology I've ever watched, that is the worst.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Body Bags, it is a pleasure. Remember the one with John Carpenter and he's the like ghoulish mortician and he's doing a bunch of puns and shit?
It's terrible.
No, it's not. It's fucking
I liked just give me the next story. I don't care about anybody else.
You haven't seen Mortuary Collection either. That has a fun wraparound.
Okay. Well, I liked that I didn't have to worry about any other like intro story or stupid people segueing into things. Like it just was very all out there on the table. This is what it is. And it was
you like
quick.
it cut and dry.
I like it quick.
You could see her face. She just stared at me. Well, you're in luck, sister.
I realized what I said after I said it, and now it's on podcast.
Well, you're a lucky gal.
Oh boy.
All right, so
as you like to say, in any case.
In any case, Jesus Christ, I say it way too much.
Yes,
I know.
You do.
The first one. Let's get into the first one. Yeah. So this is the one that actually pertains to an advent calendar.
Yes.
And the item they zoom in on is in fact an advent calendar, but it is called A Door Too Far. Mm-hmm. So I'll give a quick little synopsis of them, and then we'll talk about it, little individual parts if they're worth talking about. Some of these you're going to learn very quickly are more worth talking about than others.
Yes.
This one, yeah, they didn't. I wouldn't say they started out with the A material. This one was kind of fucking dumb. But so it just starts out, there's this kid, teenager kind of kid, and he's just tearing into it, one of those classic advent calendars, kind of like the one in Bad Santa, where the kid opens it, reads a little thing, and eats the chocolate out of it. But he's, of course, just ripping each day open and just aggressively jamming the chocolates in his mouth. Just, it's all over his face. He's just being a little slob bastard. Then he eats them all, sees the other one on the wall, which is assuming is you learn belongs to his sister, his younger sister, and he tears that one open and eats it the whole way on the way to school, tosses it like over his shoulder, like he's just a total shitbird. And then he walks into this shop, this kind of bodega, I would say. Very holiday themed bodega, though.
It's like the Hallmark movie of bodega.
Yeah, a creepy deli / bodega that, belongs in a Hallmark Christmas movie. He walks in, starts eating the chocolates out of another one on the shelf without paying for it. And then this old guy kind of confronts him. And he's a creepy, like mystical old guy who starts like rubbing like a pentagram Christmas necklace. I don't know. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You have to understand, they can't see your face. So her face is telling the tale.
Sorry.
But he puts a spell on him. Right.
So did you have the subtitles on for that?
Yes.
Because I was not aware that I would have to watch it in subtitles.
Yeah. I didn't realize these were all foreign for the most part either.
After this one, I turned on subtitles, but I didn't care enough about what he said to rewind
to go back
and watch it with subtitles. Yeah. So
he basically just said something. The old guy said something to him like, "Your sister's wasn't enough for you," or something like that. I forget exactly what the line was, but it was something like that. And the kid's like, "Oh, get bent, dickweed," and like pushes him. That's it. Those are like the only lines. And then you cut to him sleeping, and he's having like a very restless sleep. And then he's just this like
he is chocolate.
Is he chocolate, or it looks like he just laid in chocolate? He looks like he pulled.
No, it's definitely like pulling at his face.
But it just looks like sticky chocolate. Like he fell asleep on a piece of like weird sticky chocolate.
I feel like that's because the budget's really bad, and that's like what it came out looking like. But I think he's supposed to have turned into chocolate.
Yes, that is definitely what they're supposed to have happen. But it reminded me of we tease my brother because his favorite thing to do, especially when we were in college, was make a sandwich and then fall asleep with it in his hand or on his chest in his bed and roll around in it. And then he would wake up in the morning hungover just with mustard all over his bed when he was in college. And this is almost like what he did, but with like some sticky chocolate something or other. But yes, they are definitely trying to say like, he is turning into chocolate. You're kind of like, is he getting chocolate on himself while he's sleeping? And then you realize, no, sir, he is turning into chocolate. And then he wakes up and he wakes up with the door of one of the advent calendar, like doors opening, and he's inside the advent calendar. And his sister, he is now made of chocolate, and his sister eats him.
I totally missed that.
Really?
That last part, yes.
No, you didn't.
I don't know. I don't know if I stopped. I don't know how I missed it, though.
You were probably looking at your phone.
I probably was.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
You missed the sister eating the chocolate?
I saw the sister eating the chocolate. I missed that he was in the advent calendar.
Oh. Yeah, I guess if you blink, you miss it kind of thing. Or you probably were looking at your phone. Because
I heard him screaming, though. I thought he was screaming from the bedroom, or was he screaming from inside the advent calendar?
He was in the advent calendar. Yeah. He was in the advent calendar.
Okay. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah. And then he comes out, and then he's a little chocolate boy. And she eats him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I did this with an advent calendar. last year.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
The cheese one?
No, it was the chocolate one.
Yes.
That our sister-in-law gave us.
Yeah.
I ate all 24 pieces in one sitting. But like my question for this
You're
kid
a garbage
is,
person. Yeah,
like,
we get it.
of course I am.
I thought you were talking about the cheese advent calendar
No,
that we got
the
from
cheese-
Aldi where 40 like of the 25 days, like 14 of them were Gouda.
Yeah.
They were just different.
But
Goudas.
it was the opposite because we would take each piece out and we would cut it into 4 tiny little pieces so that all 4 of us and our kids can eat them.
Yeah, like a thumb-sized piece of cheese we would split 4 ways.
Kate happened to have our sister-in-law, Kate, also named the same name as me.
Yeah.
Happened to have like this advent calendar that she wasn't going to use, and I ate all 24 pieces in one sitting.
Nice.
But I have a question.
Did this happen to you?
No.
Okay.
No, nobody ate me. I did not in fact turn into chocolate.
Okay, fair enough.
But I don't know. So I have 2 questions.
Yes.
Why didn't he wipe his mouth before leaving the house? He just had chocolate all over the place.
He's just a rat. He's just a
2,
shitbird.
just buy a bigger fucking candy bar.
Yeah.
Like, why?
What's so
why
special
go through
about
the
those
effort?
chocolates?
Yeah, why go through the effort of opening each one of those little individual doors when you could just go buy a giant bag of M&Ms or something?
I took it as he was kind of liking the meanness of it too. Like he was just a dickhead.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm reading. Listen, I'm probably giving it too much credit.
You are giving it a lot of credit.
Yeah, this sucks. The fact that we were talking about this one for so long is really, it doesn't deserve this much dialogue.
Well, it says a lot about the rest of them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's get into number 2.
Okay.
With that being said.
No, in any case.
Oh, that's what I say. In any case. I can't even get the phrase that I overuse right. Okay, so the next one, they zoom in. It's a bell, right? And the title, this is my favorite title of these 8. All Sales Fatal. Did you notice it?
I hated it.
I love the title. It's great.
I hated it so much.
So you go up and it's like you're outside a store and there's a Santa out there ringing the bell asking for donations for the poor or whatever. And this jerk ass, super rude woman comes up and is just super rude to him as she walks in the door. They're painting a picture of her as just like the biggest jerk in the world. She's very impatient and rude. She's trying to return something and she doesn't have a receipt. She's being rude to everyone there. And the clerk tells her, no, I can't return it without the receipt. And she gives a very strong fuck you right to him. Yeah. Which was I always appreciate a good fuck you. And then goes outside. She's raging. She goes outside, screams, freaks out. She grabs the bell off the Santa and comes in and just clocks the clerk in the head with the bell and just splits his head open. And then he comes out with a present and tries to go like steel chair on her back, like like Shawn Michaels stuff.
It was like a JCPenney box.
Yeah. It was like a shirt box. Yeah, like it would hurt at all. But then she's like outraged that he did that.
Yeah. After she smacked him in the head and made him bleed with the bell.
Split his head open with the bell.
I can only assume her name is Karen.
Yeah,
right?
They're definitely trying to play this.
She's a Karen, and then he is definitely playing David from Schitt's Creek.
Yes, it does
100%.
feel like he was leaning into that character a little bit. You're right. But then this whole like giant melee ensues. And also she starts shooting him in the face with a staple gun.
Straight up Home Alone 2.
Yeah, but as if it was a nail gun, like it's lodging in his head. And I was like, that's not how a staple gun works. No. That's not a nail gun. It's a staple gun. But she's shooting staples into his face. And then they exchange shivving each other with pens.
Like, wow.
They stuck close to the like only weapons that are there in the retail environment.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was true to what would be accessible.
Yeah, nobody has like a machete behind the counter at the store.
Did you ever have any kids in your class in like grade school stab their hands with pencils?
Yeah,
like really sharp pencils.
One time I had a pen in my pocket, and this was in like high school, and we were trying to do that thing where you like do a handstand up against the wall and then do like handstand push-ups. You know what I'm talking about?
As one does.
Yeah. We were just goofing off, grab assing in the halls. And I did that. And when I came down, I leaned down. It's almost looked like Joe Pesci in Home Alone 2 where he puts his head in the toilet and it explodes because he put the flammable stuff in there and it's on fire. And then I was kind of doing one of those. And then when I came down, obviously I bent at the waist and the pen that was in my pocket stuck like an inch into my thigh.
An inch?
Like a half an inch.
That's an exaggeration.
It was bleeding like crazy.
So I didn't think you could actually stab somebody with a pen.
There was blood running down my leg.
Huh. All right. Well, I guess this is more credible than I thought.
That's what I'm saying. This is maybe my favorite one. No, it's like my second favorite one. In any case,
I'm very curious to see which one is your favorite.
Yeah, we'll decide at the end which one we think. We might convince each other otherwise, but this whole melee ensues. They shiv each other with pens a bunch of times, and then they're laying there bleeding out on the floor. And the woman, leans over, finds the receipt in her purse, hands it to him, and is like, "Can I return it now?" And he goes, "I'll see what I can do."
Yeah.
Which was a great line.
So I liked it, but I also wasn't in the mood for a comedy.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be watching
scary ones.
And it I was very confused.
Yes, it was 100%. This one was in English as well.
Yeah.
A lot of these weren't in English because again, these are international shorts from all over the place, but this one was in English. I don't know. I actually got a kick out of this one. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was all right.
That's the most glaring review you're going to hear.
Fine.
It was fine.
It was fine.
The next one is the most confusing one.
Is it called Third Aurora?
Is it called Third?
Is it called Third or Aurora?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
Is it called Third Aurora?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Is it only because it's the third short?
Yes, I don't know.
I don't know.
You're asking me questions I don't know the answer to.
I don't know what juice is.
Yeah, he's some sort of god.
It's like the North Korea. I don't know.
It was
It all was way over my head.
Yes, I don't think it made a lot of sense.
And
but
I'm not a dumb person.
Yeah,
generally.
It was confusing to say the least. So the item that they kind of focus in on is this kind of little obelisk kind of thing. I don't know how else to describe it. And it comes up and it just says third. But then this is the third movie. So is it called the third or not? But then on a big kind of title screen thing, it says Aurora. But that, I think, is the name of the planet they were on. So it's in space, right? So this is a very futuristic, dystopian, sci-fi type of feel to it.
See, I was under the impression that those things were floating above Earth and that Earth had become toxic and couldn't, I don't know, maybe.
That's what I thought at first, but then they say Aurora.
Yeah. The
planet's called Aurora, and it's the year 23 something.
Yeah.
It's 300 years from now.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know what language it's in. I'm going to say it was in Korean because I think that's what it was, if I'm not mistaken. But in any case, they do this whole kind of what there's no lines really. The only dialogue is this basically this computer speaking kind of thing. And it explains that it seems like some humans have come to this planet and are extracting resources from this other planet in some forceful way. They're trying to act like there's an announcement. It's we're going to start extracting, stuff, and then we'll be gone. And then we'll leave behind these bodies that will, help your plants grow or whatever.
Help it be more fruitful or whatever. Yeah.
It's very vague. The whole thing's very vague. But then how I took it was this planet kind of was fighting back against the humans who are kind of these parasites that are growing around the galaxy, sucking up resources, because the planet released some sort of seeds. And they explain that the pores or whatever of the ship that were sucking up the oxygen or something, I don't know, were getting clogged up with these seeds that the planet was releasing, and it was fucking up the whole extraction process. And then they closed the pores because they said the ship was then being contaminated. But then someone, and I don't know if it was the one woman on the screen, overrides it to open the pores back up, so all the seeds or flora and fauna from this fictional planet,
sparkly dust
comes in and infects the ship and kills them. So I feel she was kind of what we're doing is wrong. We need to like, I'm gonna put an end to this and let this like and like sacrifice myself.
Boy, I did not get any of that.
Well, the ship gets contaminated.
I know the ship gets contaminated. They all die, or both of them die. But are they the bodies that they leave behind?
That's what I'm saying. Was that by design?
Yeah.
But something went wrong.
Yeah. Very clearly something was wrong.
Yeah. But then at the end, there's also this like, there's some sort of like religious, like the humans that have come there, and they don't necessarily say they're humans. That's just what you kind of take from it. There is a religious aspect to it that, like you said, it looks like one of those like North Korean like propaganda paintings of like Kim Jong-il, but instead, or whoever his dad was, whatever the other guy is.
Kim Jong-un.
No, Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-il was the dad.
Yeah, but who was Kim Jong-il's dad? He was the guy who was like...
They said Kim Jong-suk at some point, but I don't know who that is.
Yeah. They made it seem like this was a North Korean...
I'm not a history teacher.
Yeah, but my point is, there was some sort... And it was like, what was the name of the thing? You said it once already.
Kim Jong-suk?
No. Oh. Whatever like the god thing was.
I said it?
Yeah, right when we started this. You were like, what did this mean?
Oh, Juice.
Yeah, Juice. It was like
Jushi or whatever.
Jushi, and that seemed to be like their god or something,
yeah,
or maybe leader.
Some type of ideology. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
So, in any case, it was confusing at best. It was certainly the most ambitious.
Yeah.
But it didn't work.
It didn't translate for me, literally.
No, it didn't work.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah,
I did not understand it.
It did not work. It did not work. This next one seemed like so we're at number 4. This one seemed like a really good idea, but in execution didn't really play out.
So this one was my favorite.
Yeah.
When the tables turned and you figured out that the guy threw them under the bus. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck did they all start singing?
I don't know.
That is what I can't understand.
That's the best part. All right, let me explain first because we're getting ahead of ourselves. So this one, they zoom in on a gun, like an assault rifle, and it's called Christmas on Fire. This one, and immediately you see like a bunch of like dead Santa Clauses like all over the ground, like people dressed as Santa Claus, right? And then the whole thing here is they're trying to do like a mixed up timeline type of thing, where they show the end and then they go backwards. They're trying to be very clever about it.
It's too short of a movie to do that.
Yeah,
like,
it was very ambitious. But they
cut
cut to this like Burger King kids club of criminals preparing for a heist, and they're doing a very Reservoir Dogs type of thing where they're like, oh, you're Mr. Black, you're Mr. Yellow. And of course, they're like, the guy who's in charge is assigning people all these based on like their race and nationality. And they are telling him like, you understand that this is racist. And he's like, I know it's not racist. I'm Mr. Handsome because I'm handsome. You're Mr. Black because you're black. Like
it's just 100% racist.
Yeah. The idea is, of course, it's racist. But like
Mr. Yellow, Mr. Brown.
Yeah. He's doing all this stuff, but it's like they're all like I said,
But also the Asian person was wearing yellow.
Yeah. It's almost a Power Rangers type of thing.
But the black person was wearing blue.
Yeah.
So like it could have been what they were wearing except for the black person. And then you were like, oh no, this guy's just racist.
Yeah, he was clearly like being racist about what he was calling them.
Yeah.
And then you go to this Christmas party of all these drunk people carrying on like an office Christmas party, and then you realize it's the 911 dispatch center.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
Yeah, and
that was so insane.
They're all blacked out, hammered drunk, carrying on, and they're not prepared when this clerk from a jewelry store calls them. And they answer it like, hey, Merry Christmas, this is 911 dispatch.
The most bizarre thing. But I am kind of jealous of that Christmas party though. I've never had a work Christmas party like that.
No.
You always see those on TV.
Yeah, that like in Scrooged and stuff.
Yeah.
They they are like like I said, it's this mixed up timeline. So then they go to like all of the criminals, and they're all dressed as Santas, and they're all jammed in one car, like a little clown car, and they decide they're going to run out and rob this. You think they're going to rob this jewelry store. They go in, and the main guy, best line, ho, 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 give me all your dough. It's a great line. It's a great line. And now you see that the clerk was in on it. So then they zoom back, and again, the timeline thing, they're bouncing around like crazy, so it's very nonlinear. And they have the clerk, and he is talking to the main Santa, going like, okay, how are we going to do this? Basically like, I'm going to let you in, and then the whole idea is they're going to steal all these jewels, and then he's going to get a percentage. Yeah,
I was really confused at first before they flashed back because the door had the close sign on it, and they just opened it.
He just let them in. Yeah. So you know that the clerk was in on it, but then the clerk double crosses them. The clerk has an assault rifle and starts blasting at them, just shooting out the door at them, stuff like that.
Not blasting at them.
I know. Wait, this was very confusing. Okay.
Blasting at the glass cases so that he could get the stuff out.
Right, but then he apparently also shoots them.
I took it as the police shot them.
Yeah.
And he just shot the cases and got the jewels.
Yeah, I guess so. But then this all happened again. The timeline's messed up. So like we get it. It's kind of, it's the timeline's unreliable. But the owner comes out and like a Bond villain explains out loud his plot. Yeah. He was like, "I'm not the clerk. I'm the owner.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. McAllister, the father." But he explains that he is going to get money from insurance and he gets to keep the jewels. So he's stealing his own jewels and pinning it on the Santa cops.
As if a jewelry store doesn't have cameras.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how are you not going to see this whole thing go down?
And as if the police officer that's standing right there didn't hear everything he just said.
Right, or didn't see you walk out with a fucking assault rifle.
Yeah, and with a bag of jewels.
He I don't understand this. He comes out, there's a cop, and the cop points the gun at him, and he's kind of like, "Oh, I'm caught now." But he called the cops.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't understand. Definitely something got lost in the editing there. And the cop goes, "Don't make me shoot a brother on Christmas."
Yeah.
I don't understand. Okay. And then the cop, first of all, then the dying Santa and the dying cops on the ground. And then ultimately, the jewelry store guy,
everyone,
all start singing Silent Night. Kate, you can't see her. She's just shaking her head from side to side.
I was so confused. Like, it's not funny.
No, it's not funny.
It's not scary, sad. It doesn't evoke any emotion except for pure confusion for me. Like, there's nothing like thought-provoking about it.
I think I'll tell you again, I'm going to give them too much credit here, but I think that this is what they were trying to do. Now, this one was in English as well. So this one was a little easier for us to gain some context from, but not really. But so I kind of took it as like, in that moment, all these people are dying. There's this face-off. There's all this bad stuff happening on Christmas. And now you're in like, it's not a parallel universe or anything like that, but it's like a very symbolic thing of like, this is how things could be, but instead humans treat each other this way on Christmas. Like, I thought it was that kind of message of like, these greedy fuckers, this greedy fucker, these violent people, all this stuff is happening.
I think it was somebody who wrote a short film and didn't know how to end it, so everybody just breaks out in song. That's my theory.
I get the feeling something got lost in the editing of this. Like maybe it was twice as long. I don't know. It was a good concept.
Also, rotary phones don't work anymore.
I didn't even notice there was a rotary phone.
Yeah, he called the police using a rotary phone, like a full-on do the whole dial thing. Yeah. That's
what you take exception to?
Yes. Damn it.
All right, let's get into this. So number 5, the item they go in on is called it's a gas mask. And what is the name of this one? Did you write it down?
Villancicos?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I didn't take the time or care enough to look up what it is.
I can look it up.
My autocorrect really screwed me on that one on my notes here. But I'll tell you what happens. This one was my favorite, I think.
I like this one too.
It's very silly. It's very surreal, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, they got like progressively sillier.
Yeah. This was my favorite one. So you start out, there's a kid in a bed, presumably at home, but he's hooked up to like some sort of like heart monitor, and he's got like IV bags, and he's clearly like suffering some sort of like medical issue, and he flatlines. And the family is there. They're all crying. The doctor's just creepily staring at them. It starts doing the whole like, flatline classic, ER sound, you know what I mean, kind of thing. And so there is a children's choir. We're getting overrun by dogs now.
Yeah, we have two dogs.
They're called, and it came into the room.
Hi guys.
So the children's choir is singing, and the children's choir stops singing. And then you hear the kid dying. They're all wailing, freaking out. And then this children's choir starts singing again. And then the kid's heart starts again. So the heart monitor kicks back on. And then they stop singing. The kid flatlines again. So you start to realize that... So the mother goes downstairs, brings up the children's choir who were like caroling outside the whatever building they're in.
So real quick, if I'm not mistaken, and again, I didn't care enough to go back and rewind and watch again.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that first whole part is one shot, which is kind of cool.
What is that? I didn't even notice.
From them in the room, they follow her down the stairs.
Yeah.
They collect the kids and they follow her back upstairs. I'm pretty sure that was all one shot, which I thought was kind of impressive.
Yeah. That was cool.
I could be wrong, though.
No. That sounds right. But I didn't notice, but that does sound right.
I didn't notice it cut away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she comes back upstairs, brings the carolers, the children's choir, into the room, and they sing, and he stays alive. Now, he's unconscious. He appears to be in a coma or something. Right. But he is staying alive as long as they're singing. So you start to see, like, time passing. And the choir is still singing. So, like, hours pass, days pass, months pass, years pass.
And he gets married at some point.
Yeah, it's when he gets married.
Who married a guy in a coma?
Everyone's aging. So by the way, they try the radio to see if that'll keep him alive. It's just music. No, it has to be this choir singing for whatever reason.
They tried the TV.
Yeah. So fast forward to things kind of not just people aging and things changing, but like the world kind of devolving as time passes. The choir grows up. The coma kid becomes an adult. There's all this like insanity and like apocalyptic scenarios playing out. It's just getting darker and darker, like in the same room with the same like cast of people. But the choir just kind of presses on for all these years.
People just start seizing on the floor.
Yeah. There's some sort of like chemical warfare happening. There's like a nuclear fallout, I took it as.
That's where the gas mask comes
right.
in.
All the stuff's happening. People are dying. Eventually, there's one person left in the choir who has a gas mask on. Mm-hmm. And the rest are dead. Like, the room has changed so much over the years and stuff. And then...
Yeah, did you notice it went from a chandelier light to 2, like, fluorescent lights?
No, I didn't even... Yeah, there was just a lot to look at in the room. It was very visually striking.
I like that, yeah.
And then there's one singer left. The rest are dead. The boy, who's an old man now with a white beard, wakes up out of his coma and just stabs the last singer.
Well, here's my... So, first of all, the villain Cinco, whatever. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with languages. Yeah. But it is a common poetic and musical form of the Iberian Peninsula and Latin America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We didn't mention this is all in Spanish.
It's kind of like the musical form, whatever.
Gotcha.
You know, me being a healthcare professional, I don't understand how he rips out all of his stuff, but then his monitor still flatlines at the end. Like, you're not even connected to it anymore. You know, that of everything is the most unbelievable.
That was the thing that bothered you?
Yeah.
So this was definitely, I thought, pretty ambitious, very unique story, and definitely have never seen a short quite like that one.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it was like so unbelievable.
You loved this movie.
That I liked it. No.
You loved the whole thing.
No, let me be very clear. I did not.
We're turning you to it slowly. I took it as he was alive, but he was unconscious, like he couldn't move, but he was like conscious physically to the point where he could hear the choir for all these years, and it drove him crazy. And finally, when he regained consciousness, he just needed the music to stop.
Yeah.
And that's why he killed the last person. That's how I took it.
I mean, yeah, that makes just as much sense.
So it was like this whole like kind of thing of, it's like cruel and selfish to keep a person like alive that's in that state.
Boy, you are really giving these a lot of like existential.
You don't think that's
meanings.
What they were going after?
So now that you say that, sure, but like I just thought it was stupid short. It was like 5 minutes long, and it was entertaining. Yeah. I'm sorry to the directors of these and the writers, because I didn't get any of this stuff out of it.
Well, let's be honest. This was a chore for you.
Yes.
All right. So the next one, we're on to 6. It's like a bucket of sorts is the item.
Yep.
But with like handles on the side, almost like a little tiny laundry basket, but it's a bucket, right? And it's called Joy to the Girls. So this one's pretty straightforward, but it was fine. It was a little predictable.
Yeah. All I have written down is gross.
Yeah. Hey, it wasn't that gross. It could have been way grosser.
I mean, it could have been. I was also very disappointed. Like, you kind of thought you might see some boobs here.
Yeah.
And there was just nothing.
Yeah, there was
You just
no
didn't
boobs.
see anything. It was like they just were dancing really weird.
Yeah.
And then they killed him. Okay, cool. And then they drank his blood.
All right, let me explain the thing.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Spoiler.
The Truly's kicking in. Sorry.
So they go, they start with this invitation. It's like this very fancy invitation to a Christmas party. This very like handsome dude in a suit shows up, and there's these 3 like very beautiful young women, also dressed for like a cocktail party, I would say.
Yeah.
And no one speaks. They just play music on a cassette, oddly enough. And then they give him a glass of wine, and they start circling him and being this very like flirtatious, seductive dance. He chugs the wine. They immediately give him more. They're like encouraging him to drink. And then he gets woozy and passes out. He wakes up bound, his arms behind his back, on his knees, with tape in his mouth, and his head is over said bucket, and he's screaming, and they all kind of simultaneously stab him in like the upper chest / throat area.
It was a very weird place to stab. You would think they would slash his throat.
That's what they, but it was a ceremonial thing.
They stabbed him.
Yeah, they definitely stabbed him.
Yeah, it's very
But
strange.
they tried to do it. You could clearly tell it was some sort of ceremonial thing.
Sure.
Because they all had the same knife and they all stabbed him simultaneously.
But they do every hour on the hour, apparently.
Yeah. So then they stab him, and then the bucket is used to like collect the blood that's like squirting out of him. And then this another young kind of handsome man that looks very, very similar to the other guy, but with like a beard, comes in. And he's been presumably invited in a very same way. He walks in on the women all just drinking the blood from the bucket. And he's, of course, very shocked. And one of the women says, "You're a half hour early."
Yeah.
And then that's it.
I like that ending.
Yeah, it was all right.
That was fine.
The whole thing was very predictable. You knew there was some sort of like
you knew it had something to do with the wine you were
ritualistic thing. Like you knew what was going to happen, but the line at the end definitely saved it. Because it was very like delivered very deadpan.
I like how clean they were about it too. Like they had like plastic all over the carpet.
But you like their attention to cleanliness. Yeah, sanitation.
They're very, very
food safety.
Yeah, they're very considerate of the staff at that hotel.
All right, 2 more. So 7.
What was this called?
I don't fucking know.
I
wrote
think
down.
It was called anything.
Yeah, it was. I just didn't write down what the other thing was. So first of all, the item you see are like shackles.
Yeah.
Like leg iron kind of shackles.
I think it was around his neck.
Oh yeah, it might have been, but it was some sort of shackles. Yeah. And it was called the Hunchback of something. And I couldn't read the font, and then I went back, and I still kind of couldn't read it. But then I was like, fuck it. Kate will write down the
I
title.
didn't. I couldn't either.
No, that's right. It was called the Hunchback of something.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's meant to look the way it's edited, like the effects they put in. They're trying to make it look like a very early black and white silent film.
Mm-hmm.
So they do like the dialogue cards, and it's like very pops and hisses type of effect over top of it. Like it's really old silent film stock kind of thing. And you're in this medieval setting with these knights and all this like royalty and like clergy and all this stuff. And they're pulling this. So there's this hunchback. He very much looks like Quasimodo kind of thing, but like with prosthetics from Spirit Halloween.
The prosthetics were so bad.
They were really, really bad.
The nose was legit falling off at one
You
point.
could tell, even in black and white, that it was a completely different color than his skin.
And from the side, there was one shot where it was literally like lifted off of his nose.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then at one point, the one woman like taps his nose, and it just like bends. It's so bad.
It's clearly a rubber prosthetic from Spirit.
It's terrible, and like the eye is like
really fake looking.
Like 3 inches further than the other eye from his. It's just so bad.
It's bad practical effects for sure. But they're kind of preparing this hunchback. They pull him out of the dungeon, and they're like preparing him for execution, like they're going to burn him at the stake kind of thing. And he's been accused of murdering these, what you would assume to be like some sort of like upper crust couple kind of thing. And they're called the Harringtons. And he pleads his innocence. They beat him up. They prepare him to kind of burn him, and all the onlookers are cheering and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, this fancy boy rolls up on a horse, and he comes and he says, "He's been pardoned by the king. This is the Christmas pardon." And then they're all like, "Oh, okay, wonderful,
and then
Christmas
everybody
time."
loves him.
Yeah, and then they're all nice to him now. They get him drunk. They give him a bunch of booze. They give him gifts. He's like part of their whole celebration. And it goes on for a while. And then you just learn that was all like his last minute fantasy.
Yeah, it made me so sad.
The Hunchback's last minute fantasy. And then he's actually being burned. Yeah. So pretty cool.
It's like literally burning alive while he's fantasizing about this. And it made me really sad because, he's never been a part of society.
Yeah.
And he probably didn't kill anybody.
Probably not. You get the feeling he was a scapegoat.
Yeah, he was a scapegoat. They kept calling him monster.
Yeah. But yeah, so I liked this one because the prosthetics were so bad. They were so corny. And I think that was a little bit... This was one of those movies, again, I might be giving it too much credit, but it's one of those ones where like they made the really low budget kind of play to their advantage because it was so silly that when the emotional gut punch happened, it was a huge juxtaposition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're like, this is the dumbest thing in the world. Like, oh, now they're getting him drunk. They were going to burn him a second ago. They're getting him drunk. And they're like, oh, no, they're not. They're still going to kill him.
Yeah.
And
he's just dreaming.
Yeah, and poor him. Yeah. So it was a little bit, I thought there was an emotional strike to it.
It made me sad.
Yeah. It made me sad. The best thing you could say about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was effective in relative to some of this other stuff here. But okay.
Like the next one.
The last one. So they have
fuck it.
So the first thing, so they zoom in, the item is like a specimen jar, right? This is what Meg would call a wet specimen, which I learned about recently when she was talking about medical oddities. And it's called Family Matter or Family Matters.
Oh, it's straight up Family Matters.
Family Matters. And I was like, okay, weird. So then there's this like kind of very young, not young, 20 something man and woman in a car. This is, I don't know. I didn't recognize the language. I'm going to guess it's like Eastern European or something like that. I don't know what language they were speaking.
I have no idea.
Anyway, they're in the car. The man seems very distressed. And you don't know at first is like his girlfriend, his sister. You get the idea.
I wrote down brother, sister, and then I scratched it out.
Yeah. Because they say something about like mom and dad are waiting.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, so they have the same mom and dad?
Right.
No, they don't. It just kind of got lost in translation. They were a couple, a romantic couple.
Like her mom and dad were waiting.
Her mom and dad are waiting, correct. So he seems to be kind of the one that's like being brought into something he's uncertain of a little bit. Like he doesn't know what to expect. He's kind of stressed out. So they go in, they introduce him, and her dad is kind of like very stern guy, gives him like this very weird, heartfelt handshake, and like he's about to do something very important or something. I don't know. And then he gets the first present. So it's a Christmas, gathering. There's just a small group of people. Maybe there's like the mom, the dad, there's them two, and are there two other people, or was there just one other guy?
It's just, I think I took that as her brother.
Yeah, okay. So it's just one other guy. And he gets the first present. The boyfriend who's being introduced gets the first present. He opens it up. It's just a red magic marker. And the dad says, you know what you have to do. He agrees. The man, his name's Mark, by the way.
So I have a problem with this because... Okay. You think, or you said that he like wasn't really sure what he was getting into.
No, I think he was. I just think he was like nervous about something he was unsure of, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean,
like he knew what was going to happen.
Right.
He was a willing participant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like why? And if he was willing, why was he so scared?
Because, well, okay. Well, so let's explain what happens first, and then we'll discuss that.
I'm really bad at this podcast.
So he goes, you know what you have to do. Mark agrees. He takes his shirt off. And then the brother, like, draws on his belly.
He kneels down.
Yeah, I thought he was going to blow up.
Like, you really thought he was going to start sucking his dick.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too. But he doesn't. He draws a, like, series of little dashes, like, below his, or right above his navel. Yeah. But, like, it's almost like, hey,
it's
here's...
stomach, yeah.
Yeah, it's like like, it almost makes it look like here's where you're going to have a surgery or something like that. Then the woman gives him a box, like this very like ornamental kind of box. And then the dad says, he opens it up, it's a knife. And he says like, this knife has been passed down through generations. And then the mom says like, yeah, and his father's father and whatever. So he kind of does this like harikari type of like stabs himself in the gut, like opens his stomach up. and then this weird black octopus thing comes out of the dad and into him.
Yeah.
Is that what happens?
Yeah. Why didn't the dad ever have to cut?
I don't know. Because he already did. He already has a portal inside his body or whatever. I don't know. It's very vague. And then there's this kind of weird dream sequence of the whole family having this like weird
Are they just boning?
slimy octopus orgy.
Are they all boning?
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of the shunting scene from Society, which I don't know if you've seen Society.
Yeah, I watched Society with you.
Yeah. Again, Kate's face.
Yeah.
Listen, that's an appropriate reaction to Society. But it's very akin to that
That's
scene.
the one where they all like get attached to each other.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
I'm
judging it from.
So this is kind of what's happening here. And then Mark's girlfriend seems like very happy by all this. It's definitely this type of like planned ritual. And then they are sitting around the dinner table and they like toast to the new couple and they tell Mark, welcome to the family. And then this like squiddy little tentacle thing like crawls across his eyeball.
Yeah.
So it's in him now, right? Whatever this alien
clearly,
shit is in him now. And then here's what I wanted desperately to happen, Kate, and it didn't. I wanted them to pull out from the house, like towards the street, and you see the mailbox and their name's Winslow. How great would that have been?
I wish the dad's name was Carl.
Yeah. Or I wanted it to be after, like, they do the whole weird shunting thing. They
do that?
Exactly. And then the dad just goes, did I do that? That would have been so great. But alas, that did not happen. And that's it. That's our 8. What'd you think?
They were great. Yeah. Everything was great. I'm really happy that this happened.
Yeah. So if you had to pick, what was your favorite?
So
I think mine was
the Villasicos.
Yeah, the one with the gas mask.
Yeah.
With the kid in the coma.
And I thought that was like a unique one. It was not terribly acted. It obviously made no sense, but none of these did.
Yeah.
So
I think I really liked All Sales Are Fatal too.
I hated that one.
I
hated it so much. It would have been better if she didn't find the receipt at the end and they just showed them both dead. No, that was the best part. When he goes, I'll see what I can do. Yeah, that was the killer line. It was funny, but like that's not why I'm watching these. I don't want them to be funny.
I like when some of them are funny because I like when you don't know what. So I watch a lot more horror movies than you, obviously. So like we watch a lot together though, and I often know what's going to happen just because I've seen so many.
Yeah,
like any
like
die-hard horror movie fan, like you can guess a lot of stuff. So my favorite thing is when it's unpredictable. Yeah. And I like these types of things because it's like you don't know whether it's going to be scary, super dark, or funny.
Yeah.
And you find out as you go.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about it.
Because I'm very jaded. What I'm watching.
I know, yeah. You don't like ambiguity either.
No.
Yeah, we were just having this conversation
Give
last
it to
night.
Me on a silver platter. I want to know what the plot is. I want to know what the ending is.
Yeah.
I like the predictability. It's why I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
Yeah, well, and also because we can sit there and drink and look at our phones and you don't feel like you missed anything.
Yeah.
Well, there's a time and a place, but listen, damn it, Christmas time is about weird alien squid sex.
Yeah.
That, for me...
Tale as old as time.
Song as old as rhyme. All right, so we have completed Kate has done her time. She has completed her duties as a guest of the podcast and watched this piece of shit. I was really bummed because I saw Barbara Crampton was in this, and
she wasn't in ours.
No, she wasn't in ours. And
are you gonna watch the rest?
I'm gonna watch it just for Barbara Crampton. I'll watch anything with Barbara Crampton. She is my. We don't have the weird creepy you know how couples have the like, oh, what would be your one, person that if you met like celebrity that you would, we've never really
Mine's John Krasinski.
I know yours is John Krasinski.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I've never really had one, but boy, Barbara Crampton would be up there for me. She's definitely up there.
Would love to have weird squid sex with Barbara
Crampton. Fuck yes. Oh my God, I'm so hard.
Good to know.
So, in any case, that is the first 8 films in Deathcember. In the coming weeks, I think next week is going to be Meg. Stay tuned because it's going to be a blast. And then Steve is going to have another really fun guest on to talk about the final 8 movies here. And then, believe it or not, we'll be back in January. We're actually going to do reminder. January, the first Monday in January is actually the 3rd of January. We are going to hold our showdown episode to the 10th of January, just because, again, we're all, doing stuff and busy around the holidays and all that sort of thing. So you get one more minisode. And you know what that means? Your boy gets to hold on to the goddamn strap for another month.
Guys, take this belt out of my house,
it's
please.
Not even here. Steve has it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, fucking Steve.
He never brought it back.
No, he never brought it back.
Good, you can keep it.
He's there just fucking caressing it right now. Like doing the old, and wiping it down and fucking carrying it. He's probably at a brew right now with it over his shoulder. Fucking bastard. All right. So in any case, this is a lot of fun. Steve, bring my belt back to my fucking house. Kate, you don't appreciate good cinema. You're never allowed on the podcast again.
Okay, fuck you. Bye.
as if that was a punishment of some sort. But this was actually a lot of fun. So excited to hear Meg and Steve do their solo episodes as well. Once again, if you haven't already, please follow us over at the social medias. I'm not going to list them all again because I'm definitely going to fuck them up. But also, hey, other exciting news. I still have some stickers left. So if anyone who writes a review for us on Apple Podcasts, I've already sent out a bunch. I probably sent out 70 stickers.
We're single-handedly keeping USPS.
Yeah, I've sent out a lot of stickers because people were very nice about this and ask for them and or review them. And you know what? Even if you don't use Apple products and you want to just shoot me a DM, I'll send you some damn stickers. But also, I learned today that Spotify is now allowing people. There's a new function on Spotify where you can rate podcasts.
Oh, nice.
So rate us 5 stars. And if there's a review function, I haven't checked it out yet. Write us a review, and then screen grab it, send it to me, or whatever. You don't have to screen grab it. Just send me a message. I'll believe you. And I'll send you some damn stickers because that's, it is the season of giving, boys and ghouls. But with that being said, for the Halloween is Forever crew, I'm Brian.
I'm Kate.
Yeah, you are. We'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.